Hello, everybody. Thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. It's about that time. Let's go take that walk and see what's in the fridge today. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by Greg's Beer Reviews. Boy, hopefully this is going to be a treat. This is Heavy Seas Uncharted Waters 2013 Siren Noire. Sirennoire. I probably butchered the hell out of that, but it's what it looks like. It's how it's pronounced to me, guys. And what this is, an imperial stout brewed with chocolate and aged in bourbon barrels. Whenever I see a beer, especially a stout, that's aged in bourbon barrels, I get a little excited because I really love that taste of that chocolate and vanilla and the bourbon all coming together in a beer. And this is a 2013. It says here, Uncharted Water explores the unique changes that happen to beer when exposed to wood. Each beer showcases a robust style carefully matched with a wood treatment to showcase a range of complex flavors. Vintage dating encouraged further exploration of the aging process. As much about the voyage as the destination, we hope you enjoy these beers in a spirit which they were brewed. So, this is the 2013 edition of this, and basically the commercial description says this year's Siren Noire Imperial Chocolate Stout has been revamped. We've aged it for 3 weeks in bourbon barrels, so that's how long it's in the bourbon barrels, which gives the beer darker notes of raisin and fig. We've also tripled the amount of chocolate nibs and added vanilla bean. A mix of dark malts gives Siren or Sin. That's probably not how it's pronounced, guys, but that's how it looks like to me. A well-rounded body that is decidedly chocolatey, but without being extraordinarily sweet. Mount Hood hops contribute to a fruity hop profile with notes of black currant. So, sounds tasty to me. What do you think? Alright guys, food pairings for this beer. The cheese is buttery brie Gouda Havarti Swiss. And since it is a stout, it goes well with your chocolate dishes, of course. And the meat is beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. Glass bar is a pint becker, not a tumbler, the snifter, oversized wine glass. I got the double glass. And can be sold for long periods under the proper conditions. So, I've had it for a while. I mean, not a long time. But I've had it for a while in the fridge downstairs, and thought it was the appropriate time for me to get this out. I do have a friend of mine out in California that has shipped me some beers. He has a beer store out there, and I will get more into that when I get his beers. He has sent me some beers for me to review, and he also has a website. And I'm going to give you a little prelude to that. It's called craftcity.com. And what I like about that website is it has the beers that they have in stock, and it also has the beer advocate and rate beer rating for each beers. So, and I don't always go by that, guys, but it's a good guideline if you're going in blind and don't know anything about a beer, and you have your smartphone or your tablet or whatever, that you can look up beers while you're shopping, and it has those ratings in there. I mean, it's a helpful hint. You can't always go by that, but it's a nice helpful hint to have those two ratings. I mean, it's better than going in and buying something you've never heard of or never seen. Say, well, I'll give this a try. And you get home and you look up the ratings, and they're in the 50s and the 60s. And you're going, oh Lord, well I just spent money on a nasty beer more than likely. So and when you look at the beers and it has that, or the website, it has those ratings, and you see 90s on both sites or whatever it may be, that's a pretty good indication that it may be a pretty decent beer. So I'll get in more into that when the package arrives, and give you more information about what he's got going on out there. And he does ship beers out, so you can go to the website and do a wish list, or place an order, and he'll ship it to you. So he's got a good thing going out there. So Donovan, I'm waiting for that package to arrive, and as soon as it does, we're going to do a beer mail video, and we're going to review some of his beer before I go on my little trip across the country. So let's get on with this one. Like I said, guys, this is from Heavy Seas, and I gave you the commercial description. ABV is 9.5 on this, and the IBUs, it says, are 18, so it shouldn't be very bitter. It should be kind of a sweet beer. So without me flapping my gums any further, let me get the opener out here and get the cap off of this. Oh, and very nice hiss on this beer. To the glass we go. This is a bomber, 22 ouncer. Let's go down the center on this one. Share a little bit with the other half without aggressive pour. We got about a finger and a half of head on that 9.5 for center. Over to the light. There's not much light going on here, guys. It's pretty black. Pretty stout-esque, if you will. Looks like like I call it, the motor oil looking, or used motor oil looking. The new oil doesn't look black like that, but when you drain it out of the pan, it's kind of black, and I hate to use that as a reference for a beer because nobody wants to drink motor oil, but it's a pretty dark beer. I mean, most stouts are. I'm gonna say all of them are, but most stouts are pretty dark and pretty opaque. You can't see any light through them, and that's the way this one is. So we're down to a little less than a finger. The head's dissipating pretty quick, so let's get a nose on it. Oh yes, I'm definitely getting the bourbon there. 3 weeks in the bourbon cask, or the bourbon barrel. Yeah, and I'm getting a little hint of vanilla there, and there's some dark fruit in there, and chocolate. Maybe even a hint of coffee. That'll come out more as it warms up, and that's why I always come back, let it warm up to room temperature, and come back and do the final chug and grade once it's warmed up to room temperature, especially on this style of beer. Wow, it's got a nice bourbon nest. Now, it's not overpowering in bourbon. I mean, it's not like it's been in the bourbon barrels for a year or so. And some of the beers that I've done that has said they're bourbon beers doesn't have hardly any. I mean, what comes to mind right off the bat is Altek's bourbon barrel stout. I mean, it had absolutely no bourbon thing in there. And I hate to hack on people or breweries because I'm into the craft beer thing, and I like to support as many of them as I can, or all of them if they're making a good craft beer. So, and some of them are kind of transitional. And if you've never had a bourbon beer, maybe you can taste or smell that bourbon in that beer. But I mean, I was very disappointed. So, and this one smells pretty good. Got a nice bourbon quality to it, but it's not overpowering. So let's give it a taste, see what we got. Cheers, everybody. The bourbon is not so strong in the taste. I'm getting more of the chocolate in the cocoa nibs. Hint of the dark fruit there, raised dates, figs, plums. But the bourbon is there. It is a nice combination of everything. Not one thing is overpowering the other. Very well blended beer. 3 weeks in the bourbon barrels worked out very nicely in this beer. Very tasty. The bourbon with the cocoa nibs. Gives it just enough chocolate and the dark fruit. Wow. This is very tasty, guys. Very, very, very tasty. Might be time to fire up a cigar. We're going to let it warm up, share the other half of this with the other half, and we'll come back and do the final chug. This definitely looks like an A beer. We're going to let it warm up and find out. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little bit left here. Been sipping on this about 30, 35, 40 minutes. Very tasty. It's up to room temperature. Chocolate, bourbon, maybe just a hint of coffee, some dark fruit in there, caramel, toffee, vanilla. Awesome. It's pretty damn tasty. Like I said, this is a 2013 edition, and I don't think they've got anything stamped on it other than the 2013 on the label. I don't see anything else stamped on the bottle. So, whenever it's on the label like that, and for this style of beer, 2013 is basically all you need for a beer that's 9.5% and it's a stout. So thumbs up to the guys there at Heavy Seas for doing that. This is a very tasty beer. If you're able to get your hands on one of these, you may still find one of these sitting on a shelf somewhere. It's definitely worth picking up. It's very tasty, guys. Got everything that you want, a nice combination of everything. Nothing that's overpowering the other. Very well made beer, very balanced beer. So, final chug. Very delicious. The other half loved it. Very tasty beer, guys. Definitely worth picking up. As far as I'm concerned, this is a 9 out of 10. Very, very tasty. You need to pick this up if you see it sitting somewhere on the shelf. And if you've got one of these cellaring, very tasty. You don't need to cellar it any longer unless you want to. It is very tasty right now. And here we are in July of 2014, and this is a 2013 edition. I liked it. I liked it a lot, guys. So let's see what everybody else thinks. Let's go over to Beer Advocate first, and they said 83 in the good range. I think it's much better than that. I think it's way better than that. I don't know why anybody would think that it's not. If it doesn't have enough bourbon, or if it doesn't have enough this, or doesn't have enough that, I think everything comes together very well in this beer. So, very tasty. Now, I've had bourbon barrel beers before that had more bourbon in them, or more coffee, or I don't know if you get more chocolate. This has a pretty strong chocolate taste in it with the cocoa nibs they've used on this one. So, very nice. I enjoyed it. Over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says 98 overall. I'll agree with that wholeheartedly. If I was putting a numeric rating on this one, it would probably be in the 98, 97 to 99 area there. So 98's a very well-rounded number for me too. So, but they've got 76 in the style, so I don't know why that is. I think it fits the style very well for a bourbon barrel aged imperial stout. I think it fits the bill pretty well. So, like I said, there are others out there that have more bourbon quality to them, or have more chocolate or more coffee or whatever. But I think it fits the style very well, guys. So, with that being said, if you've had this one from Heavy Seas, their Uncharted Waters, or their Siren Noire, that's probably how it's not pronounced, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. So, this is a 2013 edition of this Bourbon Barrel Aged. Let me know what you think, guys. So, let's take a walk tomorrow and see what we're going to get in the fridge tomorrow. See you then.